I'm Dr. Gene Antenucci. I started my career in dentistry in the Air Force, where I helped our military personnel get healthy and stay healthy. From there, I built a successful practice in Huntington, New York, and later as a teacher, lecturer, and author, I shared my knowledge and experience with students and fellow healthcare professionals. And now my journey's taken me here to explore the world of health, wellness, diet, fitness, and nutrition, as together we discover and find the good life. Today's show deals with a topic everyone is always thinking about: weight loss. Watch TV, read a popular magazine, and you can't get away from the ads, or avoid seeing all of the people you think are so much more beautiful and skinnier than you are. We all struggle with it, I bet mostly because of our personal thoughts of beauty, but one of the biggest concerns is the harm that excess weight means for our bodies over time. In America, obesity rates are 40%. With medical costs for conditions like diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and certain types of cancer, makes people who are obese have annual medical costs much higher than those who aren't obese. I remember a decade ago, I was looking at photos from a beach vacation, and I saw an image of myself on the beach. I almost died on the spot. I couldn't get over the size of my belly. I ran to look in the mirror, and the man in the mirror looking back at me was not what I wanted to see. Right then and there, I began what I needed to do to change my lifestyle and lose 35 pounds. And aside from a few minor ups and downs, I've kept my weight to what it was in high school, that 183-pound range. I've met many people with amazing life stories regarding health and weight loss. Our first guest on today's show is Chris Kuchnicki. Chris is a superstar real estate broker in the DC area, and at the age of 38, he was 296 pounds, pre-diabetic, suffering from sleep apnea, admittedly totally out of shape, and on the road to major health problems. He turned his life around and now is in great shape, at the gym regularly, and maintains a weight of about 165 pounds. Chris, so great to have you on the show here.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Gene. I appreciate the invitation.
So, tell me your story.
Yeah, so a couple years ago, actually March of 2017 to be exact, I entered into the bariatric weight loss program with my health provider. And that was a 6-month program that eventually would end up in surgery. So you had to see a dietitian, you had to follow a certain diet, keep food journals. They did psychological evaluations to make sure you would be a good candidate for the surgery. And all that ultimately ended up in a gastric bypass surgery.
What brought you to go to the bariatric program?
I had finally reached my point working in real estate, being very busy, where I knew that I couldn't keep going, living my life that way, living my life at almost 300 pounds.
So, did you always have a problem with weight in your life?
Not when I was younger. Before I was in real estate, I worked in the airline industry as a flight attendant, and when I first started that industry and that job, I was about 165, which is what I weigh now. And in my mid-20s, the weight started to come on, and then it just slowly started to become more and more of a problem.
Little by little.
And sneak up on me.
So you went into this program, and I guess sounds like it's more rigorous than what we think of.
I like to tell people about it because it dispels a lot of the myths of the surgery. They actually prepare you. You have to lose a certain amount of weight on your own. When I entered the program, I was 296 pounds. On surgery day, I was 265 pounds.
Yeah, and
that weight loss was just from me.
Wow.
And then the weight loss got me all the way down to about 200 pounds, the surgery itself. And from there, the rest was all up to me as well.
Is the surgery a difficult process to go through?
It's a very difficult process. It's not the easy way out, quite the opposite, and it's not for everyone. It's important that whenever you're looking to lose weight, you find what works for you. And I knew that this surgery would need to be the tool that helped me retrain my brain to eat less and to also get out and move more, to drop the weight in order to feel better, to do so.
What made you make that decision? Like, what most people would think of that as like a last resort and would say, I'm going to diet, I'm going to do this. What did you go through to come to that?
Oh, absolutely. And I had tried many different diets and many other things that just did not work for me. And it got so out of control once I got into real estate that it was like a runaway train. And I knew I had to do something fast and something drastic if I wanted to continue living my life.
So you have the surgery, and you have a recovery period. What's that like?
So initially after surgery, I was just doing straight cardio for 2 months. You know, you can't lift anything heavy, you can't. But as soon as I was cleared by my surgeon, at his advice, I joined a gym. And I had kind of dabbled in weightlifting before I had the surgery. I had a friend who is a personal trainer, and she showed me that weightlifting isn't something that's intimidating or scary, that it can be very easy.
So how do you maintain the proper eating habits?
Pretty much that started within the weight loss program, putting my food on baby plates, eating smaller portions, and then after you have the surgery, that's all you can eat.
I know people who've gone through the surgery and they've actually started to gain weight again.
Right.
How does that happen?
Well, after a few years post-surgery, sometimes as early as 1 year, it's easy to get back into old habits. Your stomach can stretch out a little bit more. So that's why it's even more important right after surgery to get to a gym and get into healthy habits and use the surgery as a tool rather than a fix-all, you know?
Right. So Chris, we have to take a short break, but will you stay with us?
Absolutely.
We'll be right back after this break.
Over 70 years of experience in heart and aviation, the members of the Association of Flight Attendants know the realities of the aircraft cabin better than anyone. We don't just serve drinks, we save lives. We don't just negotiate contracts, we move major policy issues like the smoking ban, no knives on planes, clean water, and safe food on board. The air we breathe matters, and we stop the spraying of poisonous pesticides. The Association of Flight Attendants, stronger together, better together.
Chris is a superstar real estate broker in the DC area, and at the age of 38, he was 296 pounds. He turned his life around and now is in great shape. Chris, so great to have you on the show. I'm sure there's a mental, emotional, self-esteem part of this that comes in. What kind of changes did you go through from that?
Oh, absolutely. I think that in order to make any major change, it has to also come in the mind. And weight, people struggle with their weight for many reasons. Mine was mental. It was depression. It was anxiety.
You actually became depressed because of your weight.
Absolutely. And eating was a source of comfort and a source of stress relief. Not just with my job, but with life, with dealing with disappointments and setbacks and feeling like a failure. And I would drown myself in food as a way to...
It's a strange dynamic because on the one hand, you're part of you being depressed is you see what you look like. You're not happy with what you look like, but you eat more.
We continue to do the things that continue to hurt.
This has been great. You're so inspirational. If people want to contact you, how can they find you?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram, where I not only share my real estate, but my fitness life at Chris Sells DC. I'm also on Facebook as Chris Kuchnicki, and my email address for any inquiries is chrisk@crossmancre.com.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
We'll be back with more after this short break, so stay with us. Welcome back. We have Leiah Rocheleau back with us in the studio. And along with her is her business partner, Scotty. He joins us from Boston. They've started a program that's helping so many people across America change their eating habits and their lives. Do you want to tell us more?
Absolutely. So we actually have a program called Evolution Vegan Academy. It is an international academy. We have students from Mexico, students from the UK, we have some in Germany. So we're really trying to help nationwide people explore a plant-based lifestyle and veganism while getting into the best shape of their life. And so they can work with us for 12 weeks and then also be invited into a 12-month program by invitation.
Wow, that's exciting.
Absolutely. So I actually am located here on the East Coast, and Scotty is located in Austin.
Okay.
So we're going to go over to him, and that way he can fill you in on all of his goodness.
Hey everybody, my name is Coach Scotty. I am founder and CEO of Evolution Vegan Academy. We help vegans shred fat, build muscle, and reclaim their confidence. A little bit about myself. So I started out graduating from Eastern Washington University with a degree in exercise science, and immediately I went into the health and fitness industry. I started with coaching for the Seattle Mariners baseball team as a strength coach, and then also did some personal training on the side. And a couple years after that experience, after I gained some knowledge in the gym, I decided to make a massive change in my life and to go vegan. And I did that overnight with my wife. And after that, I started a food blog because I noticed that myself, I wanted more recipes, and other vegans out there wanted more recipes too. And then as that developed a little bit more, I realized that that just wasn't enough, that they wanted more. They wanted to learn how to do it the right way. They wanted to live a vegan fit lifestyle, which is why I decided to start this academy to really teach them how to live the best vegan fit lifestyle that they can possible. That's not only going to transform their body, but also their mind. That's ultimately going to transform and change their life forever.
So Scotty, you're in Texas and Leiah's here, and you use technology to connect with participants. Why is that so important?
Technology is so important because the community is the driving force of this academy. It's bringing people together all over the world which makes them feel like part of the family. So we actually don't refer to it necessarily as the community. We refer to it as the Evolution Vegan family. And everybody is invited into the family who comes in this program. They're welcomed in warm arms. And what I found and what Coach Leiah has found is through this process that this connection is much deeper than just health and fitness. It's really building relationships with one another, and so that people feel connected and know that similar people like them from all over the world are going through some of the same struggles, and then also overcoming some of the amazing wins that they're creating in their life.
So tell me, how hard was it for each of you to make a change?
Well, for me, I found it fairly easy, but just like Coach Scotty, I had the challenges of finding recipes, really implementing switching over from using meat as my protein or dairy as a protein and figuring out how to reconfigure my workouts. And what a lot of vegans do is they undereat. So then they go vegan and hence they have that energy loss at the gym, or they just feel fatigued.
And they say, this won't work for me.
This won't work for me. Well, it's not that it won't work for you, but I truly believe that I would have been more successful earlier on if I had a coach and I was an expert like I tend to be now.
So that's why this community must have a lot of power.
The community has so much power. And like I said, Coach Scotty and I both truly view it as family. And so, we have weekly calls every single week with all of the students in the community. And I just think it's a safe place for people to really be vulnerable and talk about some of the reasons that they got to that place in the first place.
So Scotty, how was it for you?
Yeah, great question. So it was actually really easy. Leading up to my overnight transformation I was kind of looking into it, reading a lot of books, watching a lot of documentaries, really like piquing my interest to understand it. And then one night after watching a documentary on Netflix, both my wife and I went vegan overnight. We cleaned out our fridge in about 30 minutes and started fresh the next day. And then really from there, it was kind of figuring out, what was the right combinations of foods to eat. I actually dropped weight really fast, kind of like what Coach Leiah was saying about under eating. And I didn't feel good. I didn't have that energy that I have now. And it took months and months, even years of trial and error and experimenting to really figure out the right combination of foods to work together. And that's exactly what we teach the students in our academy today.
So you've been working with people from all over the world. There has to be someone or some people that stand out as great success stories.
Yes, absolutely. So there's a couple that have been working with me almost from the beginning. One of them, her name is Jen Techner, and she's really had an incredible transformation. She actually just passed 40 pounds of weight loss. Her body looks completely different, and she's actually now contributing to the academy, and she is going to be speaking to some of the students about her mindset change, which has been the biggest win for her. It's been amazing to watch her body transform, and she loves the way she looks, but now it's the way that she thinks that has been incredible, and she wants to share that gift with all the other students in the academy who are working towards that goal too. And then one of my other students that I have in mind, his name is Darren, and he actually just passed 50 pounds of weight loss in under a year. And his mindset transformation has been absolutely incredible to see from where he started and how, that kind of the negative self-talk really ruled his world. And when he got in the program and he learned the different tools and the strategies that, feed yourself positivity on a daily basis, not only, in his mind, but in his body as well, his transformation has been nothing less than incredible. And it's been amazing to work with. I actually just got done visiting with him next week. I flew to Ohio, where he's from, Georgia, where he's from, and we had a little mastermind together. So it was so fun to I remember back when he first started and then how much he's grown since then. It's been pretty incredible.
Where can people find more about Evolution Vegan Academy?
Yes, so you can find more about Evolution Vegan Academy by following me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @CoachScottyB_. And within my Instagram, I have story highlights that you can check out some of the client wins that they're achieving, some of the results. And then you can also find me on Facebook @Scott Burgett and connect with me there. And then we also have a free community on Facebook that is @Evolution Vegan Community. So you can simply search Evolution Vegan Community on Facebook, answer a couple questions to help us get to know you a little bit more, and then you're in.
Well, thank you, Scotty. Thank you, Leiah.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more of Finding the Good Life right after this break.
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with ovarian cancer after regular use of Johnson & Johnson baby powder? You may be entitled to compensation. A December 2018 Reuters news report states that from 1971 to the early 2000s, Johnson & Johnson was aware their raw talc and finished powders sometimes tested positive for small amounts of asbestos, but didn't disclose it to regulators or the public. Substantial verdicts have already been awarded because of Johnson & Johnson's failure to warn the public of this risk, including a $4.69 billion verdict in July of 2018 and 3 other verdicts totaling over $614 million. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer after regular use of Johnson & Johnson baby powder for feminine hygiene purposes, you may be entitled to compensation. How do you fight for the compensation you deserve? You choose the right legal team that has the experience, support staff, and resources to get the most compensation for your injuries. Call now.
Attention! The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services has officially authorized new benefits that Medicare Advantage plans may include. To get the benefits you deserve, you can call the Medicare Coverage Helpline.
Hi, I'm Joe Namath. If you're on Medicare, this is important information. I called the Medicare Coverage Helpline and they instantly looked up my coverage. In this one simple call, they offered to enroll me in a plan that includes rides to medical appointments, private home aides, doctors and nurses' visits by telephone, and even home-delivered meals. The plan also includes dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage, all at no additional cost.
Don't delay. Call to see if the new benefits are available in your area.
Call the number on your screen now. It's free.
Call 1-800-757-8304. That's 1-800-757-8304.
Welcome back. There are so many paths to health and wellness. Most of us know only one path, which is our standard healthcare system. In many ways, that system's amazing, but in so many ways, there's need for improvement. There's so much more that we can do for ourselves outside of traditional medical care to maintain the best physical and mental health. Our next guest devotes her entire life to doing just that. Joyce Rockwood is a gut health coach, certified gravity-based colon hydrotherapist, and she owned and operated 2 very successful New York City wellness centers. She's been working in natural medicine and natural healing since 1996. Her clients experience deep transformation from her 3-pillar process that focuses on proper nourishment, detoxification, and rejuvenation with essential oils. She's a frequent guest lecturer nationally, speaking on her unique expertise in healing the body from the inside out. Hi, Joyce. Thanks so much for being with us today. You're doing some amazing things, really amazing things. Tell us more about you.
Well, Dr. Dean, thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor to be in your presence and to speak to your audience. You know, I believe that your body and you have the ability to heal from the inside out naturally. And I also believe that detoxification is the most powerful and overlooked aspect of healing successfully long term.
Well, let's start at the beginning, because most of our viewers aren't familiar with detoxification. So what can you tell us?
It's pretty simple. The concept of detoxification is the removal of unwanted poisons and toxins from the body that are causing harm, ill, or disorientation to the gut. So detoxification is something that's super important. There are certain levels that the body does on its own, but then there are other levels that we can dive into to support the body in elevating in ways that people don't even know is possible, which is where I come in.
Well, there's so much about health that so many of us ignore and aren't aware of, and one of them is how the lack of digestive health really affects our overall health. What are the signs and symptoms of digestive health?
Yeah, that's a very good question because, you know, over 70% of Americans are suffering with some form of digestive disease. And what's really cool and empowering side of that is that 90% of human illness can be either prevented from what we eat, by what we eat, or it can be reversed. So when we look at digestive health, if you're suffering with a lot of gas, bloating, poor sleep, interrupted sleep, restless sleep, Skin issues are a really big thing, right? Headaches, chronic indigestion, where there's a lot of burping and reflux and things of that nature. Back pain. I mean, you can name almost anything, right? We talk about the immune system being one cell layer away from the gut. 70% of your immune system resides in the gut. So if you're chronically getting sick, if you have autoimmune disease, that's a very common thing these days, right? Back in the early 2000s, I barely even knew how to pronounce Hashimoto's. So some of those issues are going to let you know that you're having digestive issues and digestive malaise.
So, in a nutshell, what can people do?
So, well, the first step that I would recommend for all of my clients and anyone listening is actually the first step in my 3-pillar process, which is called healing from the inside out. And so the first thing I always recommend is bringing in fresh pressed vegetable juice to the diet. And there's a very systematic way to do that. The other thing people can do if they don't own a juicer is to start eating more raw foods, more raw green leafy foods in the form of big salads. It's one of my favorite hashtags. Before you're eating anything that's cooked, because the raw foods, the green leafy vegetables, are very helpful in not only sweeping the gut and loosening up the matter that's accumulated, that's causing a lot of the lethargy, the poor sleep, the poor digestion, the low energy, but it's also triggering a lot of the emotional issues that people have around anxiety and depression and mood imbalance. So we bring in the salads before cooked food. Those are 2 of my top tips to get started on detox.
This is really great information. Where can viewers contact you to learn for more?
Thank you so much. It would be my pleasure to help anyone listening who's looking to really elevate their well-being. I can be reached at detox@joycerockwood.com, or you can find me online right at my website, joycerockwood.com, where all of my social media avenues are reachable and linked there.
And I hear you have a gift for our viewers.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so excited to share more with you. And this is really just the tip of the iceberg. So I've created a free juicing recipe ebook for you. So if you really want to get started and have some more ideas that are creative at your fingertips, you'll get the free ebook. And I've also created a really valuable sort of mini masterclass in the form of a 3-part video series.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jean. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Joyce. We'll be right back after one last break. Do you remember when you were a kid? Most of us have memories of eating bags of Halloween candy and French fries galore and ice cream sundaes. Getting old stinks. Now we have to watch everything, and we still see the numbers on the scale go up. Listen, life is meant to be enjoyed, and food is enjoyment. The great singer Luciano Pavarotti once said, "One of the best things in life is the way we must regularly stop whatever we're doing and devote our attention to eating." Think about it. Food is central to so much of human life. People throughout history have been breaking bread together, communing with each other. Who can deny the power of grandma's chicken soup, or the gift of candy to a child, or the memories created by the Sunday family meal? Society has forever been centered around food and eating, but somewhere along the way it's all gotten out of hand. And what should nourish us now is at the heart of the disease for young and old. So learn how to eat the right things. Learn how to live right. Rekindle the right relationship with food. You have to start somewhere. So start by cleansing your body and limiting your carbs. You'll soon get to the point where you don't have to count anymore. And then you'll really be able to enjoy one of the best things in life. Until next time, I'm Dr. Jean, helping you find the good life.